Everybody, welcome into the show tonight. I am Brian Keating. He is Elgin Rucker. It is time for Crashing the Boards on Elgin, a historic week here in the state of Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
The Oklahoma softball team, the College World Series. We've got the OU baseball team. We'll get to them in just a little bit. They're headed to the College World Series. Oklahoma State did Final Four of the softball. We'll talk about them. But I want to start with the national champs who wrapped it up against Texas on Thursday night, and it sounded like this.
Washington, the grounder to Jennings, over to first. Oklahoma wins it. And the trophy hunting Sooners track down national championship number 6.
It's a great call by Beth Mowins there, but Oklahoma is a national champion in softball for the 6th time under head coach Patty Gasso, and this time they did it by going 59-3. As a remarkable favorite all season. You talk about some of the great teams of all time, not just in softball, but in any sport that you want to talk about. They played 62 games and they won 59 of them and rolled their way to the national championship. So I ask you this, Elgin, how will you remember this Oklahoma softball team? Because above anything, they are historic.
They are historic, really good, very exciting to watch, and a very exciting brand of softball. The power that they had at the plate.
Yep.
You haven't really seen that over an entire batting lineup, but the history that we talk about, the championships, how many championships, how they've done it. 4 of the last 6. In those 4, they've gone back-to-back on 2 different occasions. I think that's enough to earn the title of dynasty. I think we can start using that word and using it comfortably. And to have a dynasty, you got to do it well, and you got to do it for a long time. And you talk about some of those great sports teams that get the chance to call themselves that. Football, you got the Patriots and other teams as well. Basketball, Golden State's there now. The Spurs, we've called them a dynasty for a long time.
Yep, Bulls, whatever you want to go. Yep.
Everywhere you can go with it, but I think with this softball team, again, you look at the history of softball, only 2 other teams have done anything close to what they've done, and that's UCLA and Arizona. And they're not quite there in terms of overall titles, but just the way they've done it in that short time span, just being so dominant to the point where whenever they play, you kind of feel like you know exactly what's going to happen, and they continue to do that. The consistency, I think that's where you get the dynasty.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the same page, and I was thinking the great college dynasties here of recent times and that are happening right now. And I think of Oklahoma softball, UConn women's basketball, and what they're doing at Alabama and Nick Saban. By the way, Nick Saban has 7 national championships. Patty Gasso has 6. I mean, I think they're the same. What she's doing is what they're doing at Alabama. And so, dynasty, we're on the same page. They are remarkable. They are historic. And what a season. I mean, I'm no great historian to tell you the difference between the 92 UCLA team and this team. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They are all-time great, and that ought to be good enough. Speaking, by the way, of all-time great, one of the great players in the history of college sports.
Phenomenal.
Played her last game at Oklahoma, Jocelyn Alo. And this was quite a scene at Hall of Fame Stadium on Thursday night, because she goes out to left. She's a designated hitter, but they put her in left field just so she could get the curtain call. A standing ovation from 13,000 at Hall of Fame Stadium. Her career comes to an end, and I don't say this lightly, one of the great athletes in college sports history. And when you look at her numbers and you pop them up, the all-time leading home run hitter in the history of the sport, 122. She is remarkable as well, and one of those people that every time she was up at the plate, it's kind of like the world stopped and you just had to watch.
And we watched a lot.
And we watched it a bunch.
And she delivered every single time.
It just felt that way, yeah.
Especially in the postseason. That's where you really get to see the greatness of a Jocelyn Alo. It's not just the regular season performances. It's getting to the postseason and being able to keep it going. So many of those games where if she doesn't hit a timely home run or a double or a triple or something, Sooners might be talking about being in some trouble. So I think there's a lot of these to go around when it comes to fans and that coaching staff, and then me personally just being able to cover it. I like to go ahead and say right now, thank you
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn Alo, for being so great and allowing us to witness that greatness and just the way she carried herself as well. The stats are one thing, but being so fierce and also having so much class, being the face of this OU softball team, a powerful woman of color as well, it's just something phenomenal and it's something to appreciate.
She's Babe Ruth, man. I mean, I don't know. There's just Babe Ruth of that sport. And I said, you know, every time she hit, you kind of had to stop and pay attention and see what was going to happen. And there's only a couple of things that, you know, when Steph Curry shoots a three, I said this the other night, I think they're all going in. I don't care if it's off 1 foot or a step back. I think they're all going in, right? And then I think back to when Barry Bonds was doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
The world stopped every time he hit, and you just had to pay attention. And that's what
She's
it
the
was.
equivalent.
She's the equivalent
in
of that.
softball,
She's the
for
equivalent
sure.
of that. And Babe Ruth, I mean, big time stuff. Before we get out of here and wrap up the softball stuff, I do want to mention, and I think it's really important, Oklahoma State and what that program did, making it to the Final Four. And I know it didn't end the way that Cowgirls and, you know, fans wanted it to end on was a Monday night, losing 2 games in a row to Texas to fall short of the national championship game. What did you think of their run and the Cowgirls? That's a program that's coming.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out. And it's like the warning on the side view mirrors of your car. Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, right?
Yeah,
They're
I like
right
that.
there. They're very close. And how many teams can say they've beaten Oklahoma in each of the last 2 seasons? Just one. And that's Oklahoma State.
Yeah. I'm going to write this. They're here to stay. And, you know, what Kenny Gajewski's built there in Stillwater, they are here to stay. He's got the brand new contract. But it's not, again, when they beat Oklahoma, I said it wasn't about just winning and winning the Big 12 tournament championship. It's just getting to a point where you feel like you can compete with everybody. And they're to a point where they can compete with everybody. Nobody could compete consistently with that OU team this year, right?
Correct.
And didn't. But everybody else, and they're coming. And so they're building it, and pressure's a funny thing in the play where they threw it to center field. I mean, you just feel
so
for them because
close.
they're going to think about that for the rest of their lives. They were really close to being in that national championship series. So I'm sorry that didn't happen, but they're coming, and they're here to stay, and what they've built is pretty remarkable stuff. After a heck of a week at the Women's College World Series, Elgin, let's talk about the men's version of the College World Series, and Oklahoma is headed there next weekend.